Hey man, welcome back. Episode five of Reddit. Here we Reddit. What do you think, man? Should we let our Redditeers know about the update?
Yeah, let's go through the update. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, left of center.
See,
So I want to say thank
left of
you to
center.
her for giving us a an update because I think that was pretty awesome of her to kind of do that because her post was like besides like the belt loops thing and the her getting in trouble, but there was that whole thing with the pregnant lady and this guy and what was going on with her and the lawsuit. Um, so I'm gonna read. I'm gonna kind of read here, like kind of what she wrote. She said, because I was really curious about that lawsuit. She said, I left a few months after this incident, and he left a few months after that. His wife filed for divorce, and get this is the best part. He moved to another state to attend seminary school to become a minister.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that? He's going to become a minister and give advice to people.
Oh man, some people just aren't cut out for it. It sounds like after he left the job, his life just kind of fell apart in shambles, which really sucks. But I don't know. I don't. He doesn't sound like a good guy or anything like that. I wouldn't accept any advice from him. That's for sure.
Right? Right? And so I mean, you got to be kidding me. So and then she says, but so here's the thing. That was 16 years ago. So she goes, who knows where he's at now? He's a pretty big tool. I agree with you. Left of center, he is a big tool.
Oh yeah.
Right? Let's see here. So and apparently, so he did a couple more things before she even quit though. So like that wasn't even all the stuff that she's gone through with him. Apparently there was more. So she didn't really go too much into that, but he did talk, or she did talk about how the lady that was pregnant was fired around 6 to 7 months.
Yeah.
So she had her baby and she got, let's see here, she had her baby and got settled in before she started the filing
Yeah.
process. So she got fired.
She
She
definitely
settled in,
did it
had
the
a
smart
kid.
way. That's for sure.
Yeah. And then came back after she had her kid and then filed for the lawsuit. So,
Yeah.
but during that time before the lawsuit, he left. So now the company is just, this guy's just leaving like this aftermath of just destruction behind him of what he's doing in the workplace. And now this company has to, and who knows if they're still around after this, had to settle this lawsuit. I mean, I know they got insurance, but that's pretty big. She gets fired for asking for help, so she doesn't have to walk as far from the kitchen, and then
Yep.
she gets fired. Maybe there's more to the story than that, but she's 6 to 7 months pregnant. I mean, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's
It's really
crazy.
unfortunate what happened to her. I don't know how
Oh,
much money she got out of it, but you never know. Maybe she came out on top. Babies aren't cheap.
no, they're not. No, they're not. I always joke around. I got my kids here. I got three of them. And I feel like if I didn't have kids, after daycare costs and feeding them and everything else like that, I could probably have a Ferrari in my driveway because I think it's
Yeah,
about the same price a month. So
maybe two
we'll
of
go
them.
ahead and maybe she got off a little easier than others for for everything. You know what? I will put up with somebody harassing me and then me getting fired for a lawsuit so I could get a little bit of cash. I'll do it. Absolutely. Bring it on.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Those are
so
things you
I'll
never
take it.
really expect, but when the opportunity arises, you might as well just go with it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, well, that's a nice update. And again, left the center. Thank you very much for that. Khalil, what do you think, man? Should we bring in Nick?
Let's bring in Nick.
All right, let's bring in Nick. We're going to talk about this next episode. Here he comes. What's
Oh
up,
my
Nick?
god. What
You're
is
on.
up? I am. I'm out of the box.
Oh, welcome
I
to the
can
show. Yeah, you're just sitting back there like, I can hear you guys, I can see you guys, but I can't actually communicate.
I can't communicate. I felt like I should probably paint the room green because that's what I felt like. I was in the green room.
Pretty much, right? Yeah, but it's not.
I
Well,
got this
you're
green screen behind me. I'm not even really using, but it's there
I
just
need
in
to get one
case.
of those.
Well, I don't know. You got like a nice background there. You know, you got all your action figures and figurines,
Yeah,
and
that's
I don't
pretty
want to say the
cool.
wrong thing because I don't collect any of those things, the collectibles.
No,
You
they're
know,
toys.
yeah, the toys.
They're toys. And now as an adult, I don't do the things that I did like like when I would get toys as a child. You know, just open them up, just
Break them.
Mm. Now
break
they're
them.
collectibles.
Now they're
Yeah,
collectibles. Yeah.
yeah,
So
That's
it
right.
matches well. Some of the action figures from my comic books are up there. They're the ones that are out of, they didn't come in a box, so I didn't have to take them out of one. So they're just like free floating back there.
So you are you a are you an artist? You're a comic artist, right?
Yes, I am.
Oh, very cool.
Nice.
And
That's
what
really
is the name
cool.
of your comic?
Which one?
Oh, well, what's your favorite? Well, I don't want to say that because, like, what's your favorite child? Well, yeah, what's your favorite
What's your
child?
most
Which one's your
popular
favorite one?
one?
What's my favorite baby? Oh, okay. I know a lot of parents say that I love them equally, but I don't. So even with, no, actually, I'm not going to say that last part because I'm sure my kids are going to find this. They're like, I knew it. I knew he
Yep,
loved me
yep,
more.
yep.
No,
And,
Phantom Hawk is probably my favorite creation. It was the first one that I actually got published.
okay.
You know, I have this team
Nice.
book that I've been working on for years. I just, it's not ready yet. Even the characters look cool. I'm just trying to get the story right. But
Yeah.
Phantom Hawk is my guy because I put a lot of myself into him because when I created him in detention in the 8th grade. You know, I'm just sitting there,
Right. Everything that
That's cool.
which
happens,
is funny
anything
because I
good
got sent
happens.
to detention because I was drawing in class.
Oh, see, they only
So,
knew right then. They're like, you know what, this guy's he's so good. He's making me look bad. The art teacher's like, you know what, screw this. He's going to detention.
oh yeah, I put that dude to shame and the lady to shame, and then the other dude and all the other art classes that I took
Yeah,
until
that's
I got
awesome.
to college, and then I got some humble pie.
Well, you know,
So
but that's because you're now with your peers, right? So,
I was with my
like they always,
competition.
yeah, they always say, you know, they're, you know, as good as you are, there's always somebody better. So just, yeah. So but you learn that.
That's
Well,
true.
college is about when you learn that stuff.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I started college right after I got out of active duty, and I wanted to get it done because all my friends were like, "Man, I'm in my 6th year of college." I'm like, "I'm gonna do it in 4. I'm gonna freaking do it in 4." And
well, I want to
then
stop right there, man, and say thank you for my freedom. Thank you for that.
you're welcome. I
Welcome.
don't know. It always feels weird.
Right.
Like it's like
Right.
thank you for doing what you did. I'm like, man, if you know what I did, you ain't gonna be
Thank you
thanking
for
me.
going out there and getting some money for
Getting some
yourself.
money? Oh, that sounds even worse. Makes you sound like a mercenary. I tried to do that after the army, but
So
no,
they saw your
thanks
comics
for
and
your
they're like, nope,
support.
not this guy.
Not this guy. He's a psychopath.
I didn't pass the psych exam.
I
Uh,
did. Did
yeah,
I? No, I did.
awesome.
But yeah.
All right, so hey, we got this episode happening because of another great post from Reddit, and it is in the subreddit askmen, and this
Okay.
is from user got dumped 112. So I don't know if this guy like just created this one user to like just put this in there, but it
That
says
was the
It
okay,
username.
sounds
Was
like
got
he's
dumped
trying to bounce
112.
back.
got
That's what it sounds like.
dumped 112. Yeah, he says, okay, I want to install Bumble. What are some of the things I should avoid? And
People.
then and then the shit happens. Like, and then the comments start coming in. It's like self-esteem. Why would you do it? And this and that. And you know, so like I think the one that got the most traction out of all of them is the very first one, and it's like this Kitty 121. I think that's the name, Kitty. Kifty 121. Um, talked about how he goes, I met my partner on Bumble and had quite a few dates, blah 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 blah, and it basically goes on to the feel good story of everything, and then good advice, right?
Yeah.
And then you get like other people that are like, well, why are you going to do a dating app? You have no self esteem. It's like you
It's a valid question.
right.
It is a valid question, but I don't think it requires self-esteem to go on these dating apps. I just think it's just easier because everybody's just so damn busy. You
Oh,
know.
for sure, man. So then begs the question, Bumble, and we were going to have somebody on, but I don't think our guest was able to make it today. Besides you, so I'm glad you're here. Otherwise, I just talked to Khalil, which is like any other Thursday or Friday. So it was interesting because I was hoping that he'd come on because he was talking about some of the issues that Bumble has, and one of the ones that he brought up in the comments to us was Bumble was like, according to him, doing like a fake engagement with people. So you create your account, and then like Bumble the app through like its AI and algorithms would start like kind of like flirting with you as like a fake user is like what it kind of sounded like, and get you to then buy
The premium.
the premium and the super chats or whatever they are that's in
Yeah.
there that they do, and
Yeah, I
all these
guess it
other
kind of
things.
boosts up your confidence a little bit.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
star system
there's
they
these-
have.
Yeah, I heard about them too. They send out these bots that, you'll message back and forth a little bit and then they'll just ghost you. But
That must be
that
a
little
new,
hit
a
of
new.
like
Actually, no,
dopamine kind of gets you into the game, kind of boosts up your confidence. Like, oh, maybe I actually can find love on here. And
right.
Talking to a
I think
fembot.
it's a fembot. Yeah,
I wonder if
like
she's
from
like
Austin Powers.
just like the fembots though. Yeah, oh yeah. Till the cans start shooting at you.
Yeah, right. You're like, well, that's the only action you're gonna get.
Yeah. Duck, dive, dip, dive, and dodge.
That's funny.
So yeah, it's crazy, right? So then so I kind of went into like a little rabbit hole, and so I was like, okay, let me look into this a little bit. And then I saw
Hopefully you
that
didn't
there was
download the
a
app.
Yeah, right. Download the app and see if I can like catfish the bot.
Don't do that. Do not do that.
Don't do that.
Not a
This is
good
how I
idea.
This is how I get divorced.
Yeah. Bad idea.
Unless she's into it.
So, but well, and I met my wife on a dating app. So we were on Hinge. That's where I met her.
It's more
So, like,
respectable.
Yeah, right. I think so. I mean, but when
I
we
hear a lot
first
of good things about Hinge. Well, at least better than Bumble and some of the rest of them.
Well, do you know Bumble got sued? Right, they were going through a lawsuit.
Oh, really?
Ooh, let me look that up.
Yeah. Leave it to us, the guys. We sued Bumble for being, what's the right word? Basically, Bumble because Bumble
Manipulated.
only allows the women. No, it's because it only allows women to make the first move, and guys can't
Right.
do anything. Therefore, it was sexist.
I can
Wow.
bring you up the case.
Okay.
Carlos
Okay, let's see
Mansour versus Bumble Trading. No, is that a trading thing?
Well,
I'm getting
yeah, it
stupid.
is. It is. It's
Okay.
part of it because I think Bumble
Yeah.
got bought out by a company. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that crazy?
that was it. Yeah, that is insane. I mean, good for him for suing him because,
Well,
like,
get
you
that
think
money.
you're, yeah, well, yeah.
You know,
because
you know
get
what the settlement
heartbroken.
was? You know what the settlement was? $30.
$12. $30. I was going to say 12.
Wow,
And
really?
something like I think like 20 something super likes or something like that. Or
Was it a
whatever.
class action?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So you get too many people
That's
on board. You just need to
crazy.
find. It needs to be one dude and one group of lawyers
Yep.
because they're the only guys that got rich off that.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure. For sure. So I would leave it to like somebody to kind of screw it up for everybody else. Cause that was one thing I liked about Bumble. I was like, hey, girls in all the other apps are getting like just bombarded by guys messaging them. And you'll kind of like fall into the waistline and you're like, okay, now my message just is in the trash. So you're like one of a million. Where Bumble, they don't get that.
No, because it's the
So
ladies
they
first.
have to come and talk to you. So it makes them, it makes the engagement more authentic, I think, to start with.
As long as it's not a bot.
Yeah. Well, there's that.
Yeah.
So
That must have been a new thing that they started doing. I took all those apps down in 2020 when I met my wife. So from like before that, I was on there and, I would shoot my shot because Michael Jordan said you shoot 100, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
True.
So I was playing the numbers game. So on multiple dating apps, including Bumble, I was just like, oh, she's cute. But the thing with Bumble, I was like, I wanted to message her, and I couldn't because girls make the first move. So
Yep.
when one messaged me back, now makes me think that I was talking to bots. Maybe that's always been the case. So
You
I'm
know
like,
what? Yeah, you were sitting there talking to a computer.
yeah, and they knew my type too.
Oh, yeah.
Enid from Santa Barbara, because I was driving past her once. That's the other thing about Bumble is it'll run in the background. So if I'm going up to like
Right.
Magic Mountain, I'm getting hits from San Diego all the way to Ventura. And then some people would swipe on me and comment or send me a message, and I'm like, Huntington Beach? When the hell was I in Huntington Beach? You know? But that actually ended up being a pretty good hookup, so maybe it's not all bad.
As he's reminiscing.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
But one time it wasn't a bot.
The one time it wasn't a bot. I'm kind of wishing it was.
Right. So, yeah, man. So we, I think that there is a point too about some of those comments are talking about self-esteem. And I do believe that these apps kind of prey, well, not kind of, they do. They prey on people's desires and needs and the like lack of self-confidence to make money. And but they also started in an era that was online dating. So when I got divorced, it was 2015. That was like the height of like the start of like the online dating. And so when I was finally like, hey, I'm gonna try and meet somebody, you couldn't go out to a bar and just meet somebody because everybody there that was by themselves was just waiting for their Tinder date or whatever, you know. So it was like, okay, so I can't just go up and start talking to people like I used to be able to do, because then you're the weirdo. So
you're that guy.
Yeah. So then you go to a bar and you'll sit next to people and they're over there swiping. You know, you're like, you can actually have like a human conversation with the person that's next to you, but instead you're like nose into your phone, swiping left and right.
Isn't that so weird? How
so crazy.
We've met these people online. We set up dates at a place where there's real, actual people. I don't even know if this person exists because it's a first date, right? And then I'm sitting at the bar, and you just look across, and everybody's on their damn phone, looking at Hinge, Bumble, Tinder, the plethora of dating apps that are out there, while they're waiting for a date, looking for the next one.
Oh yeah, well,
yeah.
Do you think it's kind of like how social media is, like Instagram and everything? Like people are kind of I think they're addicted to getting.
It's
matched.
ruining society. That's for sure.
There's science behind that.
That's the biggest difference behind like what it is now is like everybody's like receiving those dopamine hits from swiping left, swiping right, getting that boost of confidence, and just like that whole like this whole thing is just like I feel like it's definitely ruining the society like as of right now, because it's hard to actually find the right one when you have so many other options. Like before, in little small towns, you could find that one person and it's a little bit easier to do. But when your options are literally endless, I mean, who are you going to choose?
Well, even if you're
just doing it just to have that small rush at that point. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, you're actually, I mean, this stuff has been kind of like studied, since the, the burst of multiple social media, programs that are out there. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's real easy to hook up or to connect with someone that you had a crush on or whatever, or meet old people that you were romantically involved with. And it also correlates with cheating too. I've read a lot on this stuff, but it is that dopamine hit. It's that hit of serotonin. It's almost like a video game that we're playing. It's almost like live action Sims that we're constantly looking for that next fix. And even if you do get married, I'm not saying this is always the case, so don't come at me. But if you do, I'll give you the wrong email. But
I'll get you the right email.
He would too. Bless his heart. So even if it becomes serious, you don't put yourself 100% in that relationship, because if it goes south, well, I'll just hop on another app. So it's not like, I'm pretty damn old. I'm 44. So like when I heard the stories of like how my parents got together, how my grandparents got together, that world don't exist anymore.
No, man, that was like a world of shotguns.
Right.
Yeah. And they survived and somehow found each other, and they would have like these 34-year-old, long marriages. And I don't think you're going to see that moving forward in the future with the advancement in
people are getting married, they're not having kids. They're not doing anything.
Right. They're sitting there on their phones on the couch instead of talking to each other.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yep.
It's so funny.
And the other thing that I'm hearing is that like a lot of these women on the apps they're all going after those 10% guys. If you're not in that 10% bracket, then you're probably going to get no likes. You're probably going to, not really even have a good time on these apps. Yeah. And I think it's like definitely causing some of these men. Yeah,
The
Yeah.
high value
they
men.
get very discouraged. They start getting very depressed, and they start hating the app, throwing their phone around.
You
Get
just
a
do
new
what I did.
phone, re-download the app.
Yeah.
You just do what I did. My wife to this day says I catfished her. um,
Ah.
so
Did you not have the beard back then, or what?
no, well, I always had a hat on, and like all my photos, like I have my guitar, like because like in
Because it shows that you're sensitive and
right,
artistic.
right. So they're in there. They talk about things you should do, right? So if you want to kind of like show, you got to show different sides. You can't be like doing the Magnum picture pose every single time and expect to get somebody because they're like, well, this person's just fake. All like is
Right.
you know everything's always the same like look, right? So when I did mine, it was like I had my guitar, I had one, I'm sitting next to my motorcycle, I'm showing some stuff I do, like I play hockey and what I like to do and just whatnot. And so when I met my wife, so I'm 5'7" and like 3/4, right? So I'm not a tall guy, but I'm not 5'7". So like it's like 5'7", 5'8", and so I put 5'8", and my wife is taller for she's 5'5", and so she comes, if she's wearing heels, like I'm like looking up a little bit at her. So,
You can wear lifts.
right for her lips. So to this day, she's like, "Oh, you put 5'9". I'm like, if I did, that was a typo. I did not put 5'9" because I know I'm not 5'9". But she swears I did. And then she shows up. I meet her at this bar, and it's here in downtown, or in Little Italy, Cloak and Pedal. And
Oh, I
so,
love that place.
right. So I'm like, it's a freaking awesome place, great drinks. So I'm at the bar, and I get there early. She's running late because she went and had like a workout, and so um, so like I'm 30 minutes early. She's like 30 minutes late or something like that. So like an hour goes by, and then she
How
shows up.
sauced were you
I was still
by the time
waiting.
she got there? Oh, you're still waiting? Were you drinking
Yeah,
though while you were
yeah.
waiting?
I think I had a drink or two, but so she gets there and right, or three or four, and she walks right on by me. Like I make eye contact. I see her come in. She texts me. She's like, "Here, I'm here. I'm walking in now." And I see her walk through, and I see this girl, this 5'5" blonde, pretty girl, and she just walks right on by me. And I do this like awkward like look thing where I'm like,
Record scratch, awkward turtle turn.
"Well, no, I did this." Like I'm smiling, and she like looks at me almost like this, and she
Hey, but it
just
panned out.
yeah, she just walks right on by me.
Oh my lord! You didn't text her
And
what you were wearing or nothing.
I might not have. I don't know.
Oh, that was
Probably thought
cardinal
she was
rule
just
number
gonna
one right
instantly
there, man.
recognize you.
That's Nick's rule number one.
Yeah,
Text
so
them what you're wearing so they don't walk past you.
well, and I
Because
wasn't wearing
I
a
have
hat,
heard
right?
that story before, not from you, but from various people.
Yeah, I just think the funny part is like the hand thing is like, you know, and she's just like, and she walks by, she waved back, but then she like walked by, and I was like, fuck, she probably thinks I'm just a weirdo, and so then she gets mad, or not mad, but she's, you wrote that. I swear you wrote that I'm at the bar, I'm on the other side of the bar, and I think I wrote like I'm on the side or the corner of the bar as you walk in. And I think I wrote I'm on the right hand side as you walk in. So she thought I was on the back side of the bar, which was closed. There's nobody back there. So she walks the back. There's nobody back there but her. And then she comes back over, and then we have our date. But she's like, yeah, you catfished me because like I didn't wear a hat. I was like dressed up. I looked nice. I shaved a little bit so that everything lined up. I had a haircut, and yeah, so she's just like, I guess she was expecting like this kind of like more of a grungy guy that always wears a hat or has like a guitar strapped to his back and rides a motorcycle. I mean, I don't know what she was expecting. So,
Yeah, that's not necessarily the definition of a catfished.
yeah, no, I didn't do it on
Catfishes
purpose.
are no fun.
Right?
It was
Yeah.
you, but like real you compared to the picture, which is put our best foot forward, us.
Yes. Well, and how many times does that happen to you guys? Like when you see a picture, and I think you got to have like that red flag when you have a girl and she takes that picture and it's like up on an angle. She's
Yep,
like
the
arching her
angles.
back, and she's like whatever.
Guys don't
she's
know about
doing,
that.
and
We
then
don't know
and then
about
you
that.
meet up with her, and then you're just like, I don't
Yep.
I see the same person, but I don't know.
I do have a story for this.
All right, do tell.
All right, so
Let's
I'm
hear
in
it.
South Texas, going through divorce. Long story short, I didn't really want to get divorced, but my ex-wife wanted to get divorced, and she's like, "You need to date other people. Make sure I am what you want." I'm like, "Challenge
What?
accepted. I'll go date some
Interesting.
people." But my version of dating is a lot different than her version of dating, so I'm on the hunt. I'm hitting the gym hard, and I'm like, I need to get some apps. So I went on this dating app called Elite Singles. It was for people that made a certain amount of money because I figured it would be less drama. I was wrong. But the full story I'll tell in my memoirs one day. But I found this girl and I was like, wow, holy crap. She put her best foot forward. She put her best pics up there. Low cut red dress at a social function, glass of champagne, all this stuff. Her hiking, just, I'm like, oh, I'm going to shoot my shot. So I messaged her. I'm like, hey, I'd love to take you to coffee sometime. A few days went by, no response. And I'm like, okay, maybe that was a miss. But then I was working, and right in the middle of my day at work, I get a message from her. I'm like, oh crap, nice. She's like, I would love that. Oh my god, I looked through your profile. You're what I'm looking for. And I'm like, all right, cool, let's set it up. She's like, well, I'm pretty busy because she was like some executive or something. So obviously she had a busy schedule. Long story short, we finally set it up. I'm like, hey man, I can't wait till Saturday next week. I'm off tomorrow. Would you like to grab coffee? She's like, yeah, absolutely. That sounds great. I couldn't wait either. I'm like, damn, tale as old as time. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I put on my best shirt, I ironed my pants. I don't iron my pants. I'm not that guy. So I ironed my pants, picked up the perfect set of Converse. I was ready. Went and picked up some flowers. I hadn't dated in 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So this was new to me. I didn't know people didn't bring flowers anymore to a date. So anyway, pull up in front of her house, go up to the door. She opens it. That picture was 40 pounds ago. 40 pounds ago.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying I'm discriminating, so ladies, don't be hating. I was like, actually, you know what? I think you look better thicker. That's cool. So we went on our date. And then it ended horribly, but you'll have to bring me on for another one of those.
To be continued.
To be continued.
It'll be one of those where it's going to be like you have like that show when they interview somebody and like their face is blacked out and then like their voice like whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, it's the real digital like Ben Affleck Batman digital voice like.
Yep.
My name is Hoot. And it's all
Yes, you gotta. I went on this date.
Yeah, it's just horrible, right?
just horrible. Of course, she's crazy enough. She'd find me.
Yeah, she was on To Catch a Predator.
Yeah, but on the point of like, I think guys are a little bit more honest when it comes to putting our pictures out there.
Well, no, I think guys just don't know how to do it, right? So we're just like, okay, here's the picture. It's like, and you just like take a selfie. You're like trying to figure out how to do a selfie, and then you're like, hey, okay, well, there's a picture, cool, right? And then you do that, and that's what goes on your profile. So it's not like it's a flattering angle. Most of the time, it's not because we don't know what the hell we're doing.
Absolutely not. We don't know about putting the camera up above our eye line. We don't know that shit.
I didn't figure that out until I started seeing us. Like, it was like, this is a pattern. There's a pattern going on here. Everybody has this angle picture. It's the same angle picture. It's like everybody doing the duckbill face. It's like, I just,
you know what I did?
Red flag. I'm like, no, you're not going to look like that. Nope.
I asked the people. I asked the girls that I work with. When I was getting no fish on the line, I was like, man, I'm doing something wrong. She's like, well, let me see your profile. And she's like, these are bad pictures. I'm like, are you serious? That's my best one. She's like, no, we're going to have a photo shoot. And I'm like, all right, whatever helps. Because I'm getting no fish on my line. I want fish on my line.
Well, and like Khalil said, you gotta try and get in at that 10%, right?
Right. You want to look like a high value man.
Yeah, you gotta. It was on the radio station not that long ago. They were talking about attractiveness. They did a study and blind interviewed women, and it was like attractiveness of men, And I don't know if if they just interviewed women and maybe they interviewed men too. Who knows? But the end all was there was like an actual attractive height for men, and it was like 6'1" or something like that, 6 foot 6'1", and
Prepare for disappointment.
right. So then it was like you're going to be successful. You're considered attractive just because of your height, and you're more likely to be like an executive. Blah 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 blah. They had like this whole thing on it, and then as you get shorter, your attractive level could stay the same, but it was a multiplier in the money that you make a year.
I believe it.
And I was like,
Makes sense to me.
wow. So you're basically buying love. I mean, like it's just.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I want to be 5'7" 3/4 and poor and have somebody that just thinks I'm, the shit. As opposed to like 5'7" 3/4 making millions and millions of dollars, and I'm hot because of my millions and millions of dollars, right? It's just fake.
It is, and it's not very genuine. Because like when I entered the Army, I was 5'8". I was 5'8", and then I decided I want to jump out of airplanes for the Army.
Right.
So when I got out of the Army, I was 5'7.5". And I continue to shrink every 5 years by at least an inch because I've compressed all those discs in my back. So now I'm still about 5'7". Luckily, the shrinking has stopped. But, if you wanted a guy that was 5'8", you need to hit me up about 20 years ago. So you need a time machine for that.
Yeah. See, Khalil, that's what you have to go for. You're going to shrink.
You're going to shrink. If you want to shrink, just jump out of airplanes. I don't know about jumping out of planes. Me neither. I close my eyes every jump, brother. Every jump is a night jump because they're like, please open.
And that's something that I might want to do once just to experience it, but not on the daily.
Yeah, no, it's not a lifestyle. But I had to do it. And they paid me extra for it. So.
There you go. And you
get that's always good.
Yeah. Yeah, once we get to my back, the VA is going to owe me money.
Yeah.
So as far as the Reddit posts, what are some things that you would recommend people should avoid on these apps in terms of males, guys?
I think you need to be honest, and it's hard for a lot of us because what we think is just devastating information, as for our character and stuff.
Yeah.
I think the women actually respond well to that. Because they're like, this guy's putting himself out there, all flaws, all positives, all cons. I think, but a lot of people aren't confident that way. And that's fine. Because if you look at it like a video game, like I mentioned earlier, when we get on video games and we start, playing whatever game your choice is, we're confident, man, because we're behind the screen. Just look at it that same way. So put your best foot forward, all your positive traits, but throw in a couple of the things that, maybe you're working on it. But put it in a way
something that makes you human, huh?
Yeah, it rounds you out. Yeah. You're not an Instagram model, because we've all been on Instagram. So you jump on there and there's guys out there that look like they're living their best life 24/7, 365. That's not always the case. There's problems out there. Yeah, most definitely it's not, and it's true for the women too. So it's equal, but I feel women are more confident on those apps than guys are. So you got to play their game.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting 20 matches a day. I'd be confident too if I was getting 20 matches a day.
Oh, hell yeah. Just that, my serotonin level would bust, dude. Like, all the chemicals in my brain. Yeah, I'd be like, man, I just be on cloud nine.
I remember when I was using these apps, like the biggest red flag to me was seeing somebody advertise their Instagram, or like it'll basically say, I'm not really here. I'm not on here much. Check out my Instagram. And it's like, what? Like, nobody's trying to look for your Instagram. We're looking for love. We're looking for a relationship. We're looking for a hookup, whatever. No, we're not trying to look for followers on Instagram. So that to me was like a huge red flag. Every time I saw that, I was like, oh, this person's not serious. Like, I'm not
isn't Bumble free for women?
Unmatched.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
There's a lot of dating apps where they're free for women. If you're a guy, you got to pay your $5.99 a month.
Well, because we're
You know?
desperate.
If you want the premium, yeah, maybe.
Well, yeah, because I'm lonely, desperate, and looking for love. Chandler Bing said that in Friends, and he was right.
So true. So true.
Chandler.
Yeah, so the different apps, right? So they each have their own thing and their own views. Because I remember like Tinder was a huge thing, and then became like the Netflix and chill thing, and then
Oh, yeah, it was a hookup app.
oh for sure, and it still is. I think I saw something the other day that's like they're just a hookup app. Like they even Tinder saying it. They're like,
Yeah, it's like
you need somebody for tonight. Tinder.
it should just be one night stand. They should change their name. But when I was looking through the dating apps and prep for this show, there's already one called One Night Stand.
There you go. Yeah.
Wow.
That's just
The world of dating sucks.
That's not. I don't think that's cool, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Old fashioned, I guess. It just doesn't seem.
So
right.
what was the difference between like all these other dating apps and the one that you found your wife on, Hinge? What was so good about Hinge? Those, kind of dive a little bit deeper and get a little bit more
Yeah, that's a good
specific on what
question.
you're looking for
So-
and such, right?
I was batting a 0 on Hinge.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Okay. So, Hinge was like new, right? That's when I met my wife. Like Hinge had just kind of come out, tested it out, and it was different. Excuse me. It was different because, like, you had to, if I'm not mistaken, you had to like comment on like a photo. You couldn't just talk to each other. You had to like comment on each
wow.
other's profiles, and then you could start communicating. If I'm not mistaken. And
So it has to be engagement
there has
with
to
each
be
other.
engagement, and I thought that was interesting. But then it also was different because you're not used to that style. Like all the other ones were like you could just talk and blow up each other's phones. Where Hinge, you like actually had to kind of work at it, and it wasn't super user friendly. So I was actually giving up on it when I first met my wife and started talking to her on Hinge. And I think, I only talked to like a very very few people on Hinge. It just to me was not an easy app at the time. I don't know if it's gotten better because I hear people like it, but back then it was a little bit weird. But it wasn't mainstream. And then there was like other ones like Coffee and Bagel. I'm like, I downloaded that. I was like, I didn't
Never heard of that
I just
one.
deleted it. I just deleted it. I was like, forget this thing. So, yeah, I don't know, man. It was like all the different ones out there. They're all the same. Plenty of Fish. They're all the same. And in fact, I would see the same people on all of them.
Yeah.
So you're just like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I mean, I wish they would
Facebook
just
dating.
dating up so that way they knew I already swiped left on that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I met the one girl on Plenty of Fish, and she never responded. And then Facebook had it going on for a while with like Facebook Meetup or dating or something like that. They had like their own little dating thing within the app. Saw the same girl, hit her up on there, got a response.
Interesting.
So it was kind of weird but you're absolutely right. The same people you're looking for are on all the big platforms.
I think the biggest thing is, like you said, you just got to be truthful about who you are. Put yourself out there. Make sure that you're representing yourself and your personality correctly. And if you don't match up, then you don't match up.
Yeah.
And be okay with that. You just got to be okay with that.
Yep.
So, we just expect this instant gratification or this dopamine because we want that hit. And when we don't get it, it creates depression. So,
it does.
So it's too bad. You know what? It would be probably more beneficial for the health of people if those apps only allowed 5 matches within a 24-hour period, or even like one a day. It's like pick your best one that you want to actually match up today.
Yeah, get your top 5.
Yeah, and then and that's it. Not anything more than that. So. But what they do is like I remember like you would run out of swipes and then like you want to buy more swipes.
Yeah.
and then
Tinder.
you're almost like gambling. You're like, oh yeah, put a quarter in the machine.
Which gives you a serotonin hit too.
Here we go. Yes.
Gives you those dopamine hits. Like when you're gambling in Vegas, we've all been in Vegas, I'm sure.
Same thing.
It's the pretty lights because it's very colorful on those apps. So it's almost like you're gambling, but you're gambling for your like
your soul.
your romantic relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Well, and you are gambling because you're just like, okay, and you're going to meet this person, and you're probably going to get an STD. So it is always a gamble.
it's yeah.
So here's the one thing that really turned me off onto online gambling or gambling, online dating.
Inception.
So there was a group of traveling nurses that came through here in San Diego, and I kept on getting like matched up with traveling nurses, and it was like the second or third one. I was like, shit, all they want is that first date because they want you to take them out for some food or
Free
something.
food.
The free meal. Yeah.
And then they disappear. Then they ghost you.
Yep.
And then finally, like the third one put it on. Like we were talking about. I was like, you know what? Like you're a traveling nurse. Cool, whatever. But what's with this? Like I'm meeting a lot of traveling nurses, and this is what I'm seeing. And she was like really straightforward. And I was like, well, I really appreciate you doing that, and I wish you had done that before we went out and had something to eat because I would have taken you out. But
would have saved myself the $60.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So like there's like that whole scheme. Like it's just a scam, man. It's like so much power. I'm like, I want to be able to be a traveling nurse or a traveling person and get meals every night paid for.
You're the wrong gender, bro.
Awesome.
You're the wrong gender.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wrong gender. Oh well.
Gender.
You know what?
Yeah, definitely wrong gender. They got tons of guys to choose from. So
yeah, there's always more in the pen. More in the barn.
Yeah.
So,
but
it is what it is.
In the end, you just like you said, you just got to be okay with yourself.
Yeah, because we're not all 6'5" making 7 figures.
Nope. I'm short and poor, man.
Yeah, me too. And I still was able to find a match. So,
but like you said, you just got to wait.
But in the weirdest way possible.
You just got to wait, man.
I got matched with my wife on what's not even a dating app, but it was an app.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, it has the best algorithm for people with mutual likes and interests, and that was TikTok. I met my wife on TikTok.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
They were both doing their TikTok dance.
She was doing a TikTok dance. She lived in Las Vegas.
Oh, wow.
I had the day off. I was like, my kids got me on it during the pandemic. They're like, Dad, you need to get on TikTok. And I'm like, I ain't doing that stuff because you're always doing dances in my living room. Tired of it. They're like, Dad, you got to get on TikTok. It's funny. It's tailored to you. And I'm like, all right. So they hooked me. I downloaded it because I was tired of what I was already watching and doing. So get in there. I'm scrolling, and I see this pretty little blonde thing doing TikTok dances and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, man, this girl cute. So I'm like, I'm going to follow her. Bloop. Well, unbeknownst to me, anybody that followed her, if she followed you back, she'd send you a message saying, hey, thanks for the ad, darling. Well, by that time, I'm about 9 cocktails deep.
You're like, she likes me.
Exactly. Drunk Nick was like, she into me. I got this. So I shot my shot. Next day, first it was, we were chatting on the app. She's like, this is too slow. Let's go to Snapchat. I'm like, all right, whatever. I mean, apparently I'm 18, whatever. So I hop on a Snapchat and we talk in there. And she's like, oh, this is even too slow. And I'm like, I'm just going to stop the confusion. Here's my number.
Yeah.
And then I get a call.
Get straight to the point.
Just straight to the point, bottom line up front. So she gives me a call, and we're on the phone till like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
There you go.
And that's what kicked it off,
We used to call
and
that
was
cupcaking.
Oh, yeah. The serotonin, the dopamine, all the happy chemicals were just dumped into my brain. Like there was like firefighters in my brain, just like, let it loose on the hose, boys. So, we're communicating. And then from there, we just didn't stop talking. Now she lives with me, so we still don't stop talking. Yeah. But like 3 weeks later, we decided to meet up. Because she lived in Vegas and I live in this lovely city of San Diego. I'm like, all right, fine, let's meet in Barstow, the city of love. So we meet up there and we have lunch and we had our first kiss. And I was like, yep, this the girl. This the one.
It's like your action figures.
Yeah. And then I showed her my comic collection and that's when I had her.
That was it.
Oh, that's
when I had her. I had her
Mm-hmm.
hooked. Well, then I drew I made a character out of her. I think that's what sealed the deal.
Oh, for sure.
I made a character where I like all these like reference photos of her because she had like the side of her head shaved and like was very punk rock, and I fucking dig that. So like I drew this character of her like sitting on a throne with her hand resting on a mace. And she's like, "Oh my god, cool. I love it! This is the greatest thing!" And she just like showed it to everybody, and I'm like, "Got you, got you!" You know, I claimed victory, and then we got married 3 or 4 months later.
Nice.
Nice. That's awesome.
So forget Bumble. Just go to TikTok and just play around with it for a couple hours. You'll find love.
Well, so we're coming up on an hour on our podcast here. So before we run out of time here, let's do a little poll here. If you could only have one app out of all of them that's available, which app would you use, or which app would you say would be the one? Let's start with you, Khalil. What do you think?
Well, I'm not, to be completely honest, I'm not all that familiar with all the different dating apps. I've used a few of them, like such as like I used Bumble for a little bit, and the reason why I like Bumble was because I didn't have to go out of my way to message a bunch of girls and expect a reply back, or be disappointed when I didn't get a reply back. Now you can just kind of wait for them to message you first, which is pretty cool, I guess. I like that concept. I mean, some people don't like it. Some people like just being straightforward and being able to message tons of girls, and to them it could be like even like a numbers game, you know, just message a bunch of girls and see who's going to reply back. But with Bumble, you know, you can. The way I kind of looked at it, if they did message, that means they were at least somewhat interested, which was a good sign. You know, it didn't always work out that way, but at least you're talking to somebody, unless you're talking to a bot, of course.
Which is a possibility.
I never used Hinge or
which
anything
apparently
like
is a
that,
thing on Bumble.
that is speculated. That has not been proven that I know of. But I'm going to be
I don't know
for this, because if it is, you better believe I'm going to be adding that little link into our description below, so people can read about the bots.
Yeah.
So, Nick, what about you, man?
Oh man, I think my favorite one when I was in South Texas anyway was Tinder. Okay. But I wasn't looking for love. So if you're not looking for love, that's your jam right there. That's the one you want to be on. But man, I'm gonna promote TikTok on this, and it's weird because it ain't even on the list of dating apps.
It is now, and we're gonna be adding it.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is
now.
TikTok's going to hit the logo. It's going to be in our podcast. We're going to push this to the moon with our
it has the better matching algorithm. Now, smart. But the problem with TikTok is not everybody's looking for love on TikTok. So
no, really not.
So
they're looking for views.
Yeah, you're looking for views, or you know, they want to submit their link so you could go to their OnlyFans or whatever. But Tinder was okay if you just wanted something casual. Match, I think, was probably something that was a little bit better for people that were looking for things long term.
Yeah, I remember Match was like supposed to be the one where if you were really, really like ready to settle down.
Yeah, and it was, but like people be lying on there.
Yeah,
you know,
it's true. It was no different. I felt like I did Match. I don't think it was any different than any other apps. In fact, I saw the same people. So.
Yeah, I saw the same people too. So I mean, really, just get all of them and throw your dart and see where it lands. You know,
fair enough.
No.
I don't think there's one that's particularly better than the other.
For me, I'm going to pick Hinge only because I was successful on it as short a time I was on it. And it worked for me. I mean, because I was on the other apps for, a couple, 3 years. And then I was on Hinge for like not even a month. So,
and boom.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that to me was more of a success story.
And that's how I felt about TikTok too, which was weird because I wasn't looking for love on TikTok. I was just looking to be entertained.
I'm so going to be doing like a short for you. It's like with like an auto tune in a song. It's like, I found love on TikTok.
I found love on TikTok.
Maybe dancing back and forth.
I
want something kind of like EDM, I want some electric dance going on in there. So
yeah, maybe we can get TikTok to send you guys to like a honeymoon, like a renewal thing.
A renewal thing? We've been married 2 years.
I know, right?
I'll take it though. I'll take it. If it's a free trip, I'll take it.
I want to be your best man though. If you get TikTok to do that.
All right, but you got to wear Jedi robes because that's the theme.
I'll do it. I don't care.
Nice.
Good. I got a lightsaber for you.
At least save that for your wife.
I have multiple lightsabers, one for each
That's
occasion.
Well, man, hey, thanks, Nick, for coming out tonight
Oh, my pleasure.
and joining us here. That was fun. So for the Reddit tier that posted that, go ahead, just do what you want to do, man. Be yourself and post what you want to post. Just be honest. And if nobody hooks up or nobody swipes on you, don't be okay with that. Just be,
Yeah.
you know what?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, just put your best self out there, put your real self out there, and if people ain't biting on that hook, then that ain't the fish you want, man.
No, exactly.
I tell you honestly, just be honest as you can. Someone's out there for you, and it may take some time because maybe they haven't got onto that app yet. But if you give it enough time, you'll get a bite, and play it from there.
They might be going through their divorce.
Absolutely.
So, all right, man. Khalil, thanks, man. That was fun.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate you coming on, Nick.
No problem, man. I love doing these things.
Yeah, we'll have to have you back, man. We'll have to have you back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that concludes our show.
All right, guys, signing out.